So, do you like canned mushrooms? Maybe you're like me, never had them before. Well, I was on a Midway sponsored session. So I do coaching engagements that oftentimes the organization sponsors with an executive. And we have a sponsor meeting at the beginning where we learn what the sponsor, who's usually the person's boss or manager, wants us to focus on in the coaching engagement, and what outcomes they're looking for and what success would look like. Oftentimes it's 6 months, sometimes it's 9 or 12 months. And so then at the halfway point, at the midway point, we do a sponsor meeting to check in on the primary focus areas for the coaching. And it's an opportunity for the client to share what progress that they have made on those primary focus areas and what they want to celebrate, and then also where they're maybe struggling or have challenges or what they want to continue to work on for the second half of the coaching. We then turn it over to the sponsor to both reflect on what they heard from the client and then also to provide their update on how they feel the client is doing on their coaching plan, what progress they're making, and also what they want us to continue to work on in the second half and the remainder of the coaching. And so with this particular client, I'm going to just make up a name. I'll say it's Tammy. Okay. So Tammy came in the coaching and she, and her sponsor, I will call him Rick. Rick said, okay, I already forgot what names I used. Tammy, you got to share that story that you told me this morning about Sue. And so Tammy's like, you think I should share it with Darcy? And he's like, yes. It's a perfect example of where you are at with the coaching, which was so fascinating because I didn't normally, I have to kind of set the stage and say, here's what we're going to do. They just jumped right in. So Tammy says, well, okay, here's the deal. I have this person in my life, Sue, who is really abrasive and really harsh, and she gives super strong opinions, but I don't think she realizes how harsh she comes across. I don't think she understands that you kind of shut down when she's sharing her opinions. I think she just thinks she's sharing her opinion. And so I was telling Rick about a conversation I had with Sue that she was opening up a can of mushrooms and I just said, oh, I don't love canned mushrooms. There's something about the texture of them that isn't right. And that Sue said, well, you're ridiculous. Canned mushrooms are fabulous. Mushrooms they're good. And canned mushrooms are fantastic. And so Tammy was saying that, like, this wasn't a matter of debate, this was just a matter of opinion. And that, Tammy had shared her opinion, and she said, I felt like Sue was telling me my opinion's wrong, that that it's not okay that I don't like canned mushrooms and that I need to change. And she said, I just felt really just shut down and disrespected for my view. And that she told Rick that all of a sudden I had this aha. Oh my God. That's how my team feels about me. And she said, until that moment, I didn't get it. So Rick had reached out to sponsor coaching for Tammy and said, Tammy's phenomenal. She is wicked smart. She knows her stuff. She's a valued employee. And she tends to have really strong opinions that can shut down the other team members. And it's hard to even describe what it is or what needs to change. I just know that it's not a good dynamic. And so Tammy had this huge aha that, wow, do people feel like I felt when Sue is telling me about the canned mushrooms? And so Tammy was saying, Darcy, it was this huge aha. And what the great news is in this case is that when I asked, so Tammy shared the progress she's made in the coaching. In this case, it's a 6-month engagement, so we're at 3 months. And she said, I still have strong opinions, but now I pause first to think about how I want to share those opinions instead of just ramroding them and telling my opinion. She said, because I just thought, I've got opinions and others have opinion and they'll share and we'll have this rigorous debate and everything's fine. She said, it never dawned on me that how I was sharing was shutting other people down. And I think I've made some progress. She said, I have a long ways to go and it's hard, it's exhausting. And so I turned it over to Robert to ask for his reflections on what she shared and what he feels. And he's like, yeah, I wanted her to share that because it was so great to see her aha. Because honestly, I've seen huge improvements in Tammy, like tremendous. He said, this is the best investment we could have ever made. He said, as a matter of fact, I never even thought we would get the results we are. Tammy I can see her in the moment really pausing before she jumps in. And sometimes once in a while she'll be on autopilot and just, I don't see it that way. And he said, I can see her in the moment kind of like rolling back and saying, well, you know what? Sorry. I don't see it that way. And I'd love to hear more about your view. I have a different opinion that I'd like to share, but I really want to understand. And he said, I'm watching this in real time, Darcy, and seeing her pivot in the moment. And it's fabulous. So I thought this was a great story to share with you for this Thoughtfully Fit Thursday because it is a perfect example of engaging your core. Tammy has really worked hard to practice unpausing. She's super strong at the act. No problem acting. Her challenge is that sometimes she acts impulsively and overreacts. And so she's worked really hard to pause and to think, how can I share my opinion in a way it can be heard? And then act. And she said, Darcy, I even now will specifically in a team meeting resist the urge to share first. I would always share first. She said, now I resist the urge to share first, and I specifically want others to go so that I can hear their opinions, and then I can integrate that in processing before I share my opinion, and I can adjust as needed to meet them where they are. So this stuff works. I mean, it really does. And it's so simple. That's my challenge to you. And the core workout is to pause. And maybe you're good at the pausing. Maybe that's not the place where you need to develop that mental muscle. Think. Ask yourself some thoughtful questions. And then act. And that might be what's harder for you, right? You think and overthink and get analysis paralysis and never quite pull the trigger to go have that conversation or to act in whatever it is that you need to do. So, good luck. Practice, practice, practice. Consistency. Just like you need to keep doing sit-ups and crunches every day if you want to have a strong inner physical core, you need to be consistent in engaging your Thoughtfully Fit core. Thank you so much for joining me. If you felt inspired by this, share a story, write a comment, like it, and share it with others. I love helping people be thoughtfully fit. As a matter of fact, that's my vision. It's my mission in the world is to help people be thoughtfully fit. So hopefully this story sparks some new awareness for you.